Well, I'll tell you, this community has unbelievable homes. They've got large lots. We're heavily treed. They're set back from the street. It's a place where people can get out and talk and walk and be friends with their neighbors. And we're a very cohesive type of neighborhood. It's just a beautiful, beautiful situation. You look down the street and you see the trees. You see beautiful plantings. You see all sorts of wonderful things. What we don't see is a lot of big buildings, retention ponds, small setbacks, things like that, where it looks like it's crowded in and junky.
Why did you move to this neighborhood, and what makes it, a place where you would want to raise a family and, be an involved community member?
Well, I moved to the neighborhood because of the characteristics of this neighborhood. The people in this neighborhood, they care. They care about their neighbors. They care about the looks and the aesthetics. And it's also a great location in the neighborhood. It's close enough to get to anything that you want to get to, but it's also one of those places that it's quiet. And that's beautiful. We have a lot of animals, and we're outside all the time playing with them. What we don't want is people on top of us, noise, and all the accompaniments that go with crowds.
Yeah, you've been fighting for a very long time now. Tell me, about that fight, how long you've been fighting, and your feelings behind that. It's got to get exhausting.
It is exhausting, and it's crazy that we have to go through it again. We've been at this for over a year and a half now. We've already gone to city council, to planning, to everything else. We have an overlay that's about to be, we hope, passed within days. And to go through this again with the same old, with the no setbacks, retention ponds up by friendly, all this kind of nonsense. It's just somebody saying, hey, up yours. We don't care about you. We don't care about the community. I live in a really nice neighborhood far away and I'm not affected. All I need to do is make some money. And he's making money at the expense of everybody else around here. And that's not right. That's not right. Uncontrolled development is just wrong. And anybody who backs that in a neighborhood like this they're on the wrong side. It's just wrong. It's immoral.
Yeah, this almost seems like a 9-round fight. You guys have won a couple rounds. Maybe you guys have lost a couple rounds as well.
We have.
Is that how it feels like? Does you guys feel like you're on the attack or the defense here?
Oh, I think we're defensive. We're trying to defend our property rights. We're trying to defend our neighborhood, the lifestyle that we've all chosen and invested in very heavily. Both in time and money. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not an easy thing to get the neighborhood together. I mean, we had over 1,500 signatures and people protesting, and if need be, we'll do it again. But to have willy-nilly development in an area that is right in the heart of the neighborhood is crazy. I mean, you can see by looking at the grass, he can't even maintain what he has. How is he going to maintain anything else? He can't. And he doesn't because he's not interested in that. If he was, it'd be done.
Yeah, tell me, about this latest plan. It is different than the last plan, which was 22. It's 10 now. So I guess you have concessions, but some concessions have been made. When you heard about this latest plan, what was your reaction to that?
Well, my first reaction was he's within the R3, and that's fine. But what he is thumbing his finger at us about is the setbacks, the tree canopy, which is incredibly valuable. I mean, you can look at these trees around here, they're huge. That's what Greensboro, with emphasis on the green, is all about. And to put 35-foot setbacks or a 10-foot retaining pond that's 10 feet away from friendly, that's not what this neighborhood is, and that's what the the overlay is supposed to handle. So once that's done, then he will have to abide by the conservation overlay. But, you know, to let him go ahead and do this project and ignore that overlay that we've worked tirelessly on is just, to allow that to happen is totally unethical and immoral.
Pass, but you know, when you change that R3,
It
gets a little easier. From 22 to 10, it gets a little bit easier to get past council. But it doesn't seem like he's working with you guys. It seems that he's just wanting to get something passed. When you see that, how does that make you feel?
Angry. It makes us feel very angry. You know, he could very easily work within the structure that the neighborhood wants. He purposely chooses to not work with us. None of us have talked to him. No one from our community has talked with him. We've not even heard from his attorney. So I would implore the council to look at it in totality with everything that's going on around it, because if they do, there's no way that he'll get an approval for this.
And I want to be clear on this, because to my understanding, that overlay plan doesn't necessarily prevent this project, correct? It's mainly for future projects, because this was filed before a certain date. So the fact that you guys are, you know, looking towards the future, because this could very well happen again, you know, tell me about that.
It's almost guaranteed that it'll happen again. It's almost guaranteed. If not by him, by somebody else. There's, you know, all through this country you have large corporations buying up properties and then leasing them for outrageous amounts or selling them for multiples on what they paid for them. Their cash is unlimited. They can go around to the neighborhood and offer people a a dream price and assemble property and then do whatever they want with it. And that's not right. That is not good for the city. It's not good for the neighborhood. And then you have lose-lose all the way around, except for the developers who get rich on it.
The last question I have, just to, talk about the positive side that I've seen come from this effort is you guys were all able to at least get closer.
There are a lot of good positives that came out of this. We have made so many good and close friends that, we talk to regularly, people that we ordinarily may not have come across or our paths may not have crossed, even though we're in close proximity. And it's brought the entire community together. And the benefits have been great. There's so many great, wonderful, exciting, interesting people that live in this neighborhood that to make friends with them, you can't ask for anything better. So,
well, it was definitely better than what he had planned to begin with. However, we're trying to keep the integrity of this neighborhood. Large lots, plenty of trees in here, which we have, and we want to keep the integrity here so we can, for the future. That's what we want. So my thought was, it's depending on what he's wanting to do, But we want to keep this, we want to get this neighborhood conservation overlay, not just for what Mr. Drew's wanting to do, but what can happen in the future. Because we know there are a lot of large parcels of land out here. We want to be where we don't have to go through all this again. I've been working at this, I got signatures all summer long, and I get sort of onerous once in a while. So.
You are retired now.
Yes.
You really don't, have, I guess, a reason to, care so much about this. But why do you continue this fight?
Well, my wife passed away 6.5 years ago. And we moved here. She loved this house and loved the neighborhood that we're in. So it's like I told Nikki Kohut when we started talking about this, that I was doing this in memory of my wife. Not only do I want it, but I want it in her memory because I know how she cared about this neighborhood. I grew up here. I grew up in Sunset Hills. This was all my playground out here when I was growing up. So it's near and dear to me.
Yeah, tell me, about a little bit about, why you and your wife moved to this neighborhood, what you guys, both thought was so special about it.
Well, we knew some people that lived close by that, and we wanted to stay in this area, in this western part of town, towards Guilford College. So we got a chance at this house. I retired in the city. I was in the engineering department, and I actually did the cul-de-sac that I live on the corner of Friendly and Roundtree. I knew the neighborhood, but the house hadn't been built. We were looking for houses. We saw this house and she fell in love with it. So you know how that goes. So we love the neighborhood. We looked at this as the best urban living. This is not the suburbs anymore. This is urban living. You can't ask for any better. With all the parks around here, shopping close by, everything was perfect for us. So that's why we moved here.
You talked about, doing this in your wife's memory. You fight, every single day. You said you got all these signatures this summer. That's not an easy thing to do. That's like you're in a 9-round fight, right?
That's right. And I'm 81 years old, and it's got kind of hot out here this summer, but I met a lot of really nice people, especially young people. A lot of nice young people moving into this neighborhood. A lot of people have inherited homes. A lot of people have purchased homes. It's a very diverse group, and it gave me a good feeling to see all these young people moving in this neighborhood. That's what we're looking for. We want this for the future.
These are the people that Glenn Drew is not seeing, not hearing.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes, he is not seeing them or hearing them. As far as he knows, we don't even exist. So, other than just when we're protesting.
Yeah, this is his land. You're not against him building something, just something that fits within things that make sense.
We are not anti-development. We want development, but we want, like I say, we want it to fit in to what's here now. We don't want, we don't see all the trees go away. I mean, this whole neighborhood is known for its trees, and we want to see, if he comes up with something really nice, hey, I'm all for it. I mean, he's got a good site plan right now. But, we just have to see what comes up.
Yeah, if you had to, summarize, your main concerns with this, I guess, multi-unit approach of 10 families right now moving into kind of one area, what's kind of your main concern with that?
Well, one thing would be the traffic. You're going to have more. You got a lot of traffic out here now. These are narrow lanes. These lanes on Friendly Avenue are actually 1 foot narrower than a standard lane. They cut down when they were building this to accommodate landowners and to get the median in. But these are narrow lanes, and there's a lot of heavy, fast traffic out here. So, it's just going to add to the traffic, and that's pretty much it.
I'm going to look over my notes real quick on my phone to make sure
All
I
right.
get on.
We're still concerned about Glenn Drew's plans for this property. We had made very clear at the very beginning that we did want to have a holding pond up near the street, that we wanted to have enough setback that these trees and the property would look like it kind of looks now. One thing we want to make really clear is that he's planning to put 20-foot spaces, 10 foot to the side of the house. Well, 10 foot is from where my foot is up to that yellow. That's all 10 feet is. I'm reaching in here at about 4 feet right now. So there's not going to be much space between these houses, and that's going to change the dynamic of the area. We have an NCO already prepared, which at Neighborhood Conservation, and more than 80% of the people who live down Friendly have already signed it, saying the setback should match other houses in the neighborhood, the look should stay the same, and that he's got to retain a certain number of the trees that are there in the front. And because of that, we're concerned now by his putting in this idea that he will put 10 homes in an area that used to hold 3. I don't have any problem with him making money. I have a problem with him doing it at the expense of the neighborhood.
I think that's perfect.
Okay.